Hi, and welcome to our video presentation for prosthetic leg cushioning. This project was completed by Josh, Aditi, and me, Sara. Some background information about our topic is given in this slide. An amazing number of 185,000 people have an amputation per year, and a quarter of those are lower limb amputations. Not every amputee patient gets a prosthetic, and this could be due to a number of reasons, including comfort problems, lifestyle complications, or simply the stump won't work with any sort of prosthetic. Another issue that comes up when determining if an amputee patient is fit for a prosthetic is if there is enough soft tissue to comfort the bone. I personally know an amputee patient, and just to give you a little bit of information on the story of how he lost his leg, a little over a year ago, he was in a very bad motorcycle accident, and he lost his leg upon contact with a car that hit him, and then he slid 200 yards down the road. He has a transtibial amputation, which is a below-the-knee amputation, and we were able to ask him a couple of questions, and this is what he had to say. He explained that most of his pain comes from the skin around the bottom of the tibia bone, and due to the trauma of the accident, he didn't have much good tissue left, so his skin was stitched together with what he had. Despite doing physical therapy during the healing process, his calf muscle had actually shrunk, causing his tibia to protrude 2 inches past the muscle, which created an uneven pressure for him when he'd walk around in his prosthetic. He also developed 2 ulcers due to ointments that weren't good for his sensitive skin and an incorrect fitting from his previous prosthetic. Our next question for him was whether the pain is caused by not having enough padding or if it was due to a poor fit in the prosthetic. He explained that everyone is different when it comes to the sock plies that they can wear, which is dependent on how fast you can recover and heal. So it is very individualized for each patient. For him, he has to be refitted every year for the rest of his life, or for however long he decides to wear a prosthetic, to ensure it is fitting properly with comfort. He then explained that an improvement that could be made in the prosthetics is a different type of carbon foot, is what they call it. He likes the flexibility and shock absorbing qualities that come with what is known as the running leg, but he'd much rather have a regular prosthetic with an actual foot that you can put a shoe on and have it feel the same as the running leg. Unfortunately, getting a prosthetic is not a cheap process at all. For a prosthetic leg, it can range anywhere from $5,000 to $60,000, and most patients have to pay anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 out of pocket, depending on their insurance. So not only is it hard finding a prosthetic that is actually comfortable for the patient, paying for one is another challenge that amputees have to face. A study that was conducted on 60 amputees who were recruited prior to their lower limb amputation were asked to complete a 6-month post-surgery interview, and this interview was used to identify post-amputation phenomena, which included phantom sensations, phantom limb pain, and stump pain. Phantom sensations occur when you quote-unquote feel the missing part of your limb. Phantom limb pain, or PLP, is pain where the limb was amputated, and stump pain is a type of pain felt in the part of the limb that remains after an amputation. For this study, 52 out of the 60 original patients made it through the 6-month interview, and as listed on the slide, they found that 78.8% of the survivors had phantom limb pain, and 51.2% had experienced stump pain. Another interesting fact that we found for lower limb amputee patients is that a transtibial residual limb, which is a below the knee amputation, is 4 times more likely to have skin problems than a transfemoral residual limb, which is an above the knee amputation. Our motive behind this project stems from personally knowing someone who suffers from constant pain due to poor fitting of their prosthetic. We wanted to provide a cheaper alternative and help with the comfort of lower limb amputees, specifically below the knee patients. We know that not all amputee injuries are the same, meaning they could come anywhere from being surgically removed to essentially being ripped off the body, like what happened with the patient that I know. Since amputations come from different things, the trauma to the skin and tissue is different for everyone, and we wanted to design a product that allowed for maximum comfort for the majority of patients.
Our initial design was originally going to start out by using the same similar design and structure that you see in cardboard. The plan was to use the wave and triangle pattern design to create a cushion-like structure for the prosthetic. The original plan was to integrate this design into the actual prosthetic, however, we wanted to opt out for a design that you could put in or take out whenever is needed. We then started to produce a product that would be like a fabric to where it could easily be molded and placed into any type or shape of a prosthetic. As we began to design it, we decided to go with a chainmail-like structure as we believed the original design would not be able to be flexible like a piece of fabric or sturdy enough. We also thought of another design that would have more cushioning, however, it would not be able to be linked together, making it more difficult to use. We decided we also wanted this product to be 3D printable, so to make it cheap and easily accessible to everyone. We chose to go with a flexible material to give it the desired cushioning. When placing the cushioning into the prosthetic, it can be applied in place with adhesive. This gives it a firm lockdown to prevent it from sliding or slipping around in the prosthetic. Looking inside the prosthetic, you can see how the chainmail-like cushioning can flex around the uneven surfaces of the prosthetic. After the cushioning was placed into the prosthetic, we opted to add a soft liner covering the interior. This would give the final product a sleeker and more appealing design. The 3D printing has rougher surfaces that might add discomfort to the user's skin. Ideally, the inside would be made of silicone to give it a smoother and sleeker interior that would also allow for the prosthetic to fit and function like normal. There's a lot of work and things that need to be done to make this product more usable and desirable. The next steps would work with our volunteer to get a scan of their leg to make a prosthetic more specific to them. They are unfortunately not able to get their leg scanned due to their work schedule. There is still more research that can be done by the team, such as a better design for the cushioning or adding an adhesive to one side of it so it can be easily placed in the prosthetic. Another thing we can do is design the cushioning into the prosthetic like originally from our initial designs. There is still research that needs to be done on how this product affects the functionality of the prosthetic. Once we get a prosthetic specifically designed for our volunteer, we can go about making a better product and testing and making changes to the design based on the volunteer's comments.
Hello everyone, so I'm Aditi and I'm going to talk about the conclusions that we made after conducting the whole project. So giving you a brief of the project was making a cushion by 3D printing for a prosthetic leg, which actually fits in the socket, which is also a medium which connects your joint to the initial part of the prosthetic leg. So after talking to an amputee and after getting his answers, we realized that that this portion of the leg is actually very important because this is, it's like it connects your leg, your actual leg, to the prosthetic leg, and sometimes patients feel uncomfortable because obviously if you have to wear a prosthetic leg, you have to wear it for a longer time. So, and this part actually, sometimes because of this part you get scratches um, on your leg and makes you feel uncomfortable through the synthetics. So we aimed at making such a cushion through 3D printing, which is actually not making the patient feel uncomfortable, which is affordable and can obviously printed by 3D printing. And we also realized that this product this product is actually beneficial, and we can apply that by fitting it to the prosthetic legs. And we also realized that by this medium we can also make other products of prosthetics, such as, for example, a prosthetic sock, which is also worn by patients who need it. And these things are very important for the patient to feel comfortable and feel like they own it, and that they don't have to feel uncomfortable, because people who have to wear prosthetic leg have to wear it for a long time, and this measure of comfort that we can provide to them can be really beneficial to them. Well, obviously, there can be some problems and improvements that we can consider. One of the problems could be the fitting of that cushion. So we designed a model, and by actually fitting it to a prosthetic leg, we could have some plights, such as the space which is left after fitting in the space, or maybe the space which is more needed after fitting. The suction of the prosthetic leg, how is it feeling, and how much more space we need. This could be one of the problems that we can face. We can also face problems uh, including like if actually we fit it, and we can have problems like if it's scratching the customer in any way, and it might need more cushioning in some areas or less cushioning in some areas. But we also realize that these are some things we can add to our project, like we can add after fitting it. But the main purpose of our project for this class was to make a cushion that is well served, well cushiony, so that it helps the amputee and helps any kind of patient, and that's what we were aimed to. These are some of the references we used, and you can have a look at it. So now I would like to conclude and would like to say that thank you so much for listening to this whole video, and may you have a good day. Thank you.